Bowie wasn't sure how the hell he had ended up in the sexy stranger's pickup, agreeing to go for a few beers with him. He had been watching Savage for weeks now, not that he'd ever admit to it. Bowie had always been attracted to older men, and Savage was his type, right down to his salt and pepper beard that made him want to give it a tug. It had been a damn long time since he found anyone interesting enough to go out for a few beers with. When Savage first asked him out, he wasn't sure he had heard him correctly. He usually had a pretty good idea when a guy, or woman for that matter, was interested in him. But Savage didn't give him anything to go by. It was hard to get a read on the guy, and that made Bowie want him even more. He always did like a challenge. Honestly, dating men was kind of new to him. He wasn't lying when he told Savage that he hadn't come out to his family yet. It was one of the reasons why he jumped at the chance to be transferred to Huntsville from Texas when the opportunity arose. He hated that he was taking the coward's way out, but that was easier than admitting that he was bi. He was even beginning to avoid his weekly calls home to his parents because he got sick of dodging their questions about if he had someone special in his life. Even if he had, he wouldn't be able to admit it, because that would mean telling his parents who he was. "You're awfully quiet," Savage said. "You having second thoughts?" "About beer? Never," Bowie teased. Savage shot him a smirk, but told him he wasn't buying him using humor to hide from the question. "You always a smartass?" Savage asked. "Most of the time," Bowie admitted. "I use humor to mask what I'm really feeling. My therapist says it's a way for me to hide my true self, because I'm afraid that if people get to really know me, they won't like who I am." Bowie looked at Savage and almost made it through without busting up laughing. Savage looked about ready to pull to the side of the road and kick Bowie's ass out of his pickup. "Really, man," Savage grumbled. "I'm not sure if you're kidding or not." He shook his head at Bowie and smiled. "Your face, man," Bowie said, between fits of laughter. Yeah, laugh it up," Savage griped. "Was any of that true?" The sad fact was, it was all true. But Bowie wouldn't admit that to Savage on what could potentially be their first date. "Nah," Bowie lied. "I just like yanking people's chains." Savage looked at him as if he was trying to decide if he wanted to believe him or not. He seemed like a smart guy, and if he was telling the truth earlier, a literal rocket scientist. Bowie worried that Savage would be able to see right through his facade, and that scared the hell out of him. "I mean, I've been to a therapist, but that was to work a few things out after I got back from active duty," Bowie admitted. Giving the guy some truth might throw him off the scent. It would be best to get through the night together without Savage finding out just how messed up he really was. That was another one of his secrets he didn't share with anyone.